solution on that front. Stop one, but again, as a platform, we see that information. We know what's going on.
Not that's deep down is what is the guarantee that we can get as a Kick streamer that, like, we talk about Kick 2.0, Twitch 2.0, there's all that in the chat. What's the guarantee that's not going to become a Mixer 2.0, that it doesn't just disappear? Do you know what I mean? Is there any guarantee we can get as a streamer that it's just not going to fold in a year's time, 2 years? Now, we're 2 years down the track. We're already doing pretty good. You know my question.
I mean,
edit any I don't know what I don't think it's on a lean binge. Is around what it looks like for the future, but it's the public API. You know, I think we've had a few discussions around what this looks like. Everyone's asking for it. Everyone wants the public API. You know, is there anything you can kind of give us a bit of insight into what that's going to kind of look like? Obviously, we can't talk timelines, but, you know, your kind of vision for how that will be rolled out.
Yeah, look, again, coming from a deep dev background and certainly my time at Azure, understanding what that developer experience looked like was crucial, in supporting the ecosystem.
Oh, there we go. We got Maltese, but it's not going to be a big enough cluster. But nonetheless, we're at $542. We'll take it.
Baby. Yeah, thank you.
We got it. 450 KCIP. You know, the thing is, as time goes on, it's not going to work out for them. It's the idea is, like, sure, you can get on the KCIP and then just start, pumping out hours and maybe you start view botting and we can see all that stuff, right? Like, again, I want to just, paraphrase here around the view botting comments as well. Like, as a platform, we can see view botting. It's super obvious. Like, it's hard to action sometimes because, people can claim, hey, look, it wasn't me doing it, it was someone else doing it to me. But we can see it. In the back end, it is clear as day. Like, it is, all the connections from the same ISP, they're hitting the same endpoints. Robots look very different to real traffic. So, we know what's going on that front. We know who's getting lazy. Again, we're going to continue to sort of, work around that, find sort of process to hit back on it. Again, KCIP was released to make people create better content, to push, to grow their community organically, to push the limits of what live streaming can actually offer. Not to get complacent, not to get to a point where we can systematically put in the right policies, the right guidelines, the right balance. And, on that note, we have actually two new categories coming out tomorrow. One for IRL streaming and one for chat roulette, which will have completely separate guidelines to the rest of the website. It's going to make it so much easier for our moderation team to be able to moderate these sort of high-risk streams, these high-risk streams where unpredictable content can arise. So we're going to make sure every single person in those chat roulette and that IRL category, there's always an active moderator there ready to turn the stream off in case things get a bit out of control. That's going to be actually announced tomorrow. So I think that's going to hopefully remove a lot of those problematic situations that get sometimes left unchecked because they're kind of, sharing that just chatting category, which is just so, filled with hundreds of channels. But anyway, to answer server-side rendering here on the front end, so it's a little bit faster, a little bit cleaner, comes with a lot of upsides. I think we finally got sorting by tags involved in this sort of front end release, which is going to be nice and interesting. People use tags. We do need to build that out a bit on the back end, though. It's important that you can add your own tags. If I kind of find a stream quickly, we'll just different. We're kind of changing the way at which the messages come through. It's updated a lot to be able to handle large volume of sort of messages coming through. You're kind of pinning, unpinning, obviously understanding who actually pinned something. That was heavily requested, I believe. A little bit around like how the sort of profile part looks, which is really important. You can see here, like you can quickly sort of switch between the profile and into the actual live stream. Obviously got the about section, the video section, clip
stuff. I just want to comment on the staff in Australia, launching IRL. We recognize that a lot of problems come out of those sectors. But what do? We circled the wagons, we made categories. There are going to be guidelines that are going to be coming out with all that. Of course, it's all about enforcement. We can write all the guidelines that we want. My point is that you have staff in Australia that sit and think about this all day long and craft it to execution, right? It just doesn't flip a switch and it just goes, right? So I just want to make that absolutely clear. Like you have a trust and safety team poring over guidelines. You have our designers making thumbnails. You have our social media team, striking the right chord. And what we're going to do with these two categories is we're going to monitor them like we do pools and VR chat. We send you a screenshot of the bullshit things that you're doing, and we
and then they kind of look towards that headline and go, fuck, that place is real bad because you've seen recent news about specific individuals. So it's definitely front of mind in terms of how we can sort of reshape that perception and make sure that the positivity around the brand and what it represents truly represents what 99.9% of people are doing, right? Literally, I'm not even exaggerating those numbers. 99.9% of people on Kick are making really wholesome, really cool content. Like they're playing games,
They really are.
They're just normal stuff. But then there is that
there's so much good content.
0.1% of people who are a little bit edgy, maybe have larger audiences, and have definitely caused a few headlines, which probably doesn't help the overall image of Kick. And a big part of what we're trying to do here is, we say this internally, right? We say this internally. We say we don't want to be Twitch 2.0, and by Twitch 2.0, that means is we ban, just ban people because it's the easiest thing to do. Trust me, the easiest thing to do to fix all those issues. How to maximize profits? Yeah, I guess so. But it's just about making an entertaining game, right? Just like anything. If you make a good game, people play it, then profit goes up, right? Eddie, when will Johnny Somali be unbanned? He has played a pivotal role in expanding Japanese viewership, motherfucker. I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's a correct statement. But we are literally not giving up. Like every time we see someone come and be like, Kick isn't going to make it or Kick is dying, like there's a fucking fire in me that lights up and I'm like, I'm going to fucking prove that person wrong, It's like, that's just my Aussie mentality that you're talking about, So again, when people say that, it's just not even an option. We haven't even thought about that. Never once in like the organization. Kick is a large company. There's hundreds of staff working in the office. You would have never heard a staff member ever hear the words of like this thing's shutting down. It's not even a thought process. Like it's like we're gonna beat this and we're gonna win this industry as a, I don't even know what they look at it anymore, but we do. And obviously again, once we have the right foundation built that Dave's been talking about and we reach product parity, we outdo the competitors, like this thing's gonna go fucking bonkers. And I just can't wait. I can't wait to prove everyone wrong as well. But anyway, sorry, I went off track there because I get fired up when I hear that because I'm like, there's just no way that's happening. It's really high, right? We kind of just went with verification requirements and then just upped it a little bit. And the requirements are fucking stupid. I'm not gonna lie, the KCIP requirements are fucking dumb. We asked people to stream 50 hours in a month. Like how the fuck are you meant to stream 50 hours in a month of quality content? Like the idea here, also 100 average CCV, that's ridiculously high. Like that is a lot of CCV. That is a lot of concurrent viewers, 100 people average for 50 hours a month. So the idea is we're gonna remove those metrics. We're gonna say, fuck it. We don't care what your viewership is. We don't care what your hours streamed are. And we're just going to go case by case basis, going for quality streamers who actually, create incredible content and then support them. Because what we're doing with KCIP, but, our eyes are set on it, certainly seeing a lot of success in other languages sort of following this model, and English language is up next the moment we kind of get that product sorted. I think, the IRL category will always, continue to thrive. I think there's, a lot of great content, also mixed in with some of the ones that get the negative headlines, but, gaming is where the streaming sort of front is. It will always be a gaming first industry. That's not going to change anytime soon. So, our continued investment in making sure we bring over the right creators. I think a lot of the bigger creators that we sort of brought over to Kick originally were sort of what we call variety streamers. And of course, these variety streamers would never really lend much, they wouldn't really invest too much into a single sort of category, right? So we never really took off major in a single sort of gaming category. So we're going to change that and, get specific people for each of those categories that we start to target and then hopefully start to build up that trend. But, again, we don't want people to think of Kick as an IRL streaming platform.
Then we are going to put your logo or the stake logo and your face, of course, Mikey and Steve and No, let's go.
Well, the main thing I understood there is you're going to put my face somewhere. That sounds awesome. All right, what game are you thinking?
We're thinking of Wisdom Athena. Wisdom of Athena.
Wisdom of Athena.
Yes.
Wisdom of Athena by Pragmatic Play. All right, let's give this a crack. How did you guys find out about Steak?
Outlaw. Let's go, Outlaw.
Outlaw 7. That's a great idea. I tell you what, let's make that happen. If botting is so clear, why not fix the view counts? Again, viewbotting, it's a hard one, right? It is a hard one. I repeat this all the time. Viewbotting is everywhere. Viewbotting is certainly everywhere. It's on every platform, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Twitch, whether it's YouTube. You can buy 1 million YouTube likes for $50 or something, right? You can buy anything. If you go on Google, you can achieve it, right? It is everywhere. I think that on Kick it is definitely a problem. We recognize it as a problem and it's something we want to solve. We have some ideas on how to solve it. A big part about that is the moment we see over viewbotting, we no longer feature you on the homepage. We no longer, your KCIP rate will start to completely drop. You won't get the platform support. If you're trying to deceive the platform and cheat the platform won't look out for you. Is overarching for any kind of content, creative content too, whether it's art, music as well, right? That's kind of the goal here, and making sure that, we touch on every single aspect is going to be incredibly important. But yeah, all these kind of things, they do take time. It's an uphill battle. Obviously it is a very, especially gaming is very much almost a monopoly on that front. So it's a hard one to break. People, there's sort of critical mass that exists. It's hard to sort of get past, but I think once we start to get that ball rolling, manage to flip almost a couple of those categories and continue to make our way down it, I think the dominoes will start to fall and we can really break into it. No different to how we've done with some other categories previously. But to answer your question, it is 100% the most important sort of section of live streaming that we need to focus on.
Yeah. And just to kind of piggyback on what Eddie was saying, just real quick, he touched on the PGL. Places like
streamers and help enough variety streamers succeed, you end up getting sort of 20, 30, 40 categories start coming to life. So, we're certainly behind you guys and we appreciate that. Eddie, do you like eggs?
Yeah, I got one.
I do. Eddie, I heard Ice kissed
Pixel
you
Farm
and all
on
the
Steak
stuff. Is
US.
that true? Also, Abs has a huge butt crack. I don't think that's so much true. Cannot confirm nor deny, but that is, I don't know, man.
Well, enough, like just by proxy, how much people learn from you, how much I've learned from you personally. Also, you were part of the first class for Kick, and I gotta tell you something, man. Like, I knew that when you were going to say something, because you would never say anything, man. Like we brought you on the program, and I was like, oh yeah, Lucci's still in here, and because everyone's got an opinion, but what my point is that when you spoke, you gave really sound advice, and it was like, this dude's been around, and just don't know when you have the time to fish. Don't know when you have the time to drink the coffee that you love, man. I just want to just preface why we have you on here, because again, kind of like Razor Red, you have the most direct based, like no nonsense, practical advice for people, and you don't have to do it. Like, you could just literally smoke everybody.
Along the way, I didn't get to new milestones in my career without the help of some sort of mentor above me, whether it was a content creator that I looked up to at one time, and they kind of took me under their wing and taught me, like, hey, you should do this in your videos, or you should try this with your streams. The reality is, there's a little bit of luck involved in everything in life, right? But it's just more about the work ethic, and I think years and years of just kind of going at it over and over and over again, and then having those mentors in place I mean, it really can just launch your career to the next level, just having someone to learn from. So a lot of what you see me post, this has nothing to do with streaming in general, but a lot of what people will see me post on Twitter is just advice, or just no BS advice for up and coming creators, what they can do to help grow their brand, and just kind of skip a lot of the really, really long stretches of times where I didn't make much progress because I was holding my own self back. So if I can be that kind of person for people to look up to and say,
thing you need to succeed, essentially. So that's our goal, you know.
Beautiful. Love to hear it.
Devin Legend, guys, thank you so much for listen. You switch shifts just to make this call. Mad respect. Thank you so much for coming on here, man, and talking with us. And our door is always open, man. If you got any follow-up questions or anything like that, just you know where to find us.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me, man. Y'all have a great one, okay?
Have an incredible weekend. Thanks, Devin. Really appreciate you dropping in, man.
Hey, much love, much love.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll tell you what, that's so wholesome. The way that, you know, got into streaming and everything, and balance and all that. I tell you what, it's something else. I mean it when I say, like, I do these like 3-hour streams like once a week, and man, it's fucking tiring. I just don't know how. I do it on a Saturday, so you know I'm not in the